Happy TGIF. Welcome everyone to No One Daily Bitcoin Pod. Bitcoin still pumping and in the green. You got to dig it. We'll also be discussing, obviously, the latest technical analysis as well as breaking news. Facebook to enable crypto payments for their 3 billion users. This is absolutely massive. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin accepted officially at fast food chain Steak and Shake, which begins on May 16th. So next week, we'll also be discussing institutional investors continue to scoop up the biddy above 100 G's. And speaking of game theory, Taiwan lawmakers call for a Bitcoin reserve at a national conference. Let's get it. We'll also be discussing Metaplanet raising another 21 million through bonds to buy more Bitcoin. And also, more realistic than it sounds, crypto analyst outlines how Bitcoin can realistically explode to $500,000 this current cycle. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more in today's show. And with that being shared, welcome everyone to today's live stream. We're streaming live, of course. Happy TGIF. If you're new to the channel, important, smash the likes, hit the subscribe button, and ring the bell to turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto newsletters every single day, 7 days a week, just like this. Today is pod episode 1987. I'm your host, JV. It's May 9th, 2025. Bitcoin ripping like the new Scottie Pippen. We almost hit 105,000 yesterday, corrected some, but still in the green for the past 24 hours, up 1,500 on the day. Let's kick it off with our market watch as we do each and every day. And we may get a Nipponator indicator. And did I not share my screen? Give me a second to share the screen. My apologies here. I thought I had that squared away, but apparently I'm slipping, I'm falling, and I can't get up. But here you go. You should be able to see now. Bitcoin up 1.55% on the day, according to Coin360, trading above 102.7 at the time of the live stream. Ether was the big gainer, gaining roughly 20% since yesterday. It's now up over 2,300. I swear it was like 1,700 just the other day. So that was one of the biggest gainers. Kind of long overdue, as ETH has been like the least appreciative crypto asset at the top 10 that I'm aware of. In fact, it's like every time Bitcoin hits 100,000, ETH goes significantly lower. The first time Bitcoin hit 100 G's, ETH was like 4,000, and now it's only 2,300. So I guess it was long overdue. XRP in the green, BNB in the green, Solana in the green, Cardano in the green, virtually everything in the green, like a lean machine. And checking out CoinMarketCap.com. The current crypto market cap all the way to 3.24 trillion has been soaring. Bitcoin market cap did surpass 2 trillion yesterday, currently $2.041 trillion. We got 200 billion worth of volume for the past 24 hours, which is unusually high. Bitcoin dominance currently 62.9%. Like I said, Ether jumped from 7.4 yesterday to 8.6 today with its next leg up. And checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours, we got Pith leading the pack, up 36%, followed by Pepe, up 21%, followed by Athena, up 15%. Let me know which alts, if any, you're bullish on for the bull. Holla at your motherfucking boy. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective on the day. Virtually everything pumping in the green. Safe to say 97% of the market. Zooming out for the week, very similar scenario. And zooming out for the month, very similar. So you got to dig it. We're finally back, and I believe above 3 trillion as a collective market cap for crypto is a great sign. We're so back. Even Trump coin is up 74% on the month. And checking out the crypto greed and fear index. Today we're 73 greed, yesterday 65, last week was 67, last month an 18 in extreme fear. And checking out the infamous time chain calendar. We're currently on block number 895,000. And we have 154,000 blocks into the next halving. And you can currently exchange one fiat monopoly dollar for 974 sats to pick up the sats, put down the gats, and pick up some Bitcoin caps from my man Sergio over at bitcoincaps.net. Get yourself a custom CNA exclusive. Just saying. But anyways, shout out Serge, rest of the fam, everyone joining us. Let's dive into today's TA, aka astrology for the broskies. Bitcoin eyes sub 100,000 liquidity. Watch these Bitcoin price levels next, and also pull up the charts. Also, massive headline here: Facebook to enable crypto payments for their 3 billion users. So it sounds like Bitcoin Lightning is going to be activated for all Facebook users around the world. This is absolutely massive, being it's one of the largest, if not the largest, social network. I mean, damn, what is there, 8 billion people on the planet, and there you have 3 of the 8 billion people using Facebook, which will have access to Bitcoin Lightning. Let's freaking go. So that's a pretty big deal. But anyways, here's the latest. Headline-driven Bitcoin gains draw scrutiny from 6,000 away from all-time highs, which we achieved yesterday. Big run-up, 10% past couple of days. The pace of the Bitcoin gains has come as a surprise for many, but the longer-term perspectives show where the most difficult battleground lies. Quoting SKU Analytics, since the current impulse was primary headline driven. Again, this puts the market in a crucial and critical trading day. SKU refers to the common theme uniting Bitcoin price volatility in the recent weeks and months. Bitcoin and risk assets have become highly sensitive to the headlines and even social media posts involving Trump and the trade tariffs. The latest event involves a trade deal between the U.S. and the UK, but how long optimism endures remains an open bet. Quoting the Analyst, I'm sure markets are hoping this has a kick-on effect to get trade deals on the table for other major trade parties like the EU and China. Another post said, now our passive flows strong volume to support newly revisited levels and turn them into strong support. They also share alongside the chart, passive flows will be important for accepting higher value, especially after such a large market bid, which led the price to break 100 Gs. And that's right. As of yesterday, we officially recaptured 100,000 for the first time since January. So it's been several months. Quoting another analyst here, Bitcoin has already decisively cleared the 1.618 Fibonacci and is now trading at the volumes area high, plus a weak resistance trend line. And the chart offered important Fibonacci levels, as mentioned, from Bitcoin's local low of 75, which we hit a few weeks back. That's right, 74 and some change, which is the local low. And another trading account revealed a conspicuous breakout attempt for the 1.618 Fibonacci on the monthly chart. And I'll be pulling up the live chart here in a moment. Rejection and pullback from the 1.618 lasted a bit longer till May. Meanwhile, liquidations are waiting in the wings. The latest data from CoinGlass showed price eating away the bids immediately below 103, with the bulk of the interest clustered below 100. So take that, bears. And to the upside, little friction remained, and the bulk of the liquidations having already occurred on a return to six figures. The analyst said here, this notable imbalance makes the downside liquidation zone a potential key area to watch for the volatility or the price actions, so we'll keep our eyes on it, fam-a-lam. And pulling up some of the live charts via Coinbase, via TradingView. You should be able to see here in a moment. There we have it. Here's the 1 hour. You can see the last 1 hour, big green candle. The previous hour, big red corrective candle. Let me know if you think we'll make another move to the upside, potentially reclaim price discovery, currently sitting at 109.3, which was achieved all the way back on January 20th, on Inauguration Day for the Trumpster. And zooming out a little bit, we take a look at the 4 hour. The 4 hour says it's going up forever, Nipsey. That's right. As you can see, bullishness overall, bullish momentum, obviously. And zooming out a little more, we didn't have any particular price targets there. But on the daily chart, big green candle formed yesterday. It was Godzilla style. I dare say a half a God candle, right? And then obviously today it's been a little bit corrective, but overall still in the green. And target price action wise on the daily chart, as you can see here, sitting at 111, baby. So let's get it. And zooming out from there, we'll take a look at the weekly and then a quick glance of the monthly. The weekly chart still has the 124 cup and handle target in play. Also, look at that bullish momentum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive green candles. Obviously, the fifth one, we get the official close Sunday, but it's been pretty significant. And that's nice considering we had 2 months of very corrective markets, and then past 5 weeks have been nothing short of pure bullishness, which we love to see. And zooming out from there, we take a quick look at a 1 month. And the 1 month also is forming a nice green, even though we're only 9 days into May. April was a nice return of the dragon, hence a green candle. And the 2 prior months were 2 red corrective candles. So thus far for Q2, bullishness has not been disappointing. Where do you feel? Pretty low bitty price will likely take us next. Next story of the day regarding Steak and Shake. I know they have this franchise in Florida. I don't know if it's here in Puerto Rico. I got to look it up. But I remember there being one near my mom's crib. And ironic enough, my mom's birthday is May 16th. It's kind of crazy. But anyways, fast food chain Steak and Shake will start accepting Bitcoin. This is a sign of the time show. And let me know if there's a Steak and Shake where you live. The firm said on X May 9th, they're making the crypto available to more than 100 million customers. That's a lot of customers. Only a matter of time before McDonald's and the rest of these franchises do the same thing. Signing off is Steak Toshi. That's hilarious. Let's go. The fast food chain initially hinted at accepting Bitcoin in March when it posted, should Steak and Shake accept Bitcoin? The tweet drew attention of the crypto community and Bitcoin proponents such as Jack Dorsey, who rapidly replied with a yeah. The firm has built momentum since the Bitcoin theme marketing, Tesla promotions, and visuals hints on the social media feeds. As I just shared, the acceptance of Bitcoin represents a significant development in the mainstream crypto adoption, as few restaurant chains have moved beyond limited pilot programs to full-scale payments. Now, in places like El Salvador, you can actually purchase your McDonald's or anything using Bitcoin. Hence, Bitcoin is a legal tender there, but obviously in other parts of the world, you can't do that. So if they were to do this, that means any Steak and Shake around the world, you'd start to be able to use, for example, Bitcoin to make your payment. So Steak and Shake will join a growing number of fast food chains that accept crypto payments. We also have Chipotle, back in 2022, accepted almost 100 different cryptos. That's kind of crazy to accept 100 of them. I'd accept like Bitcoin, potentially Ether. I don't know, but I don't know about 100. I never even heard of Flexa, but I guess it's maybe an app. One of the earliest adopters of the crypto payments is Subway, which has piloted the Bitcoin payments as far back as 2013 at select franchises. KFC also offered the Bitcoin bucket promotion in Canada. I didn't even know of that in 2018, allowing purchases with Bitcoin, while McDonald's accepts Bitcoin in Lugano, Switzerland, as part of the local crypto initiative. Burger King accepted crypto gift cards and direct crypto payments in select countries like Germany, Netherlands, and Venezuela. In September, Trump used Bitcoin to buy burgers at a New York City bar. You guys remember that? Also, Pizza Hut became one of the first mainstream outlets to accept Bitcoin in El Salvador, where it was made legal tender, as we know, back in 2021. And the first ever Bitcoin transactions was made to buy fast food by Laszlo, the infamous Bitcoin Papa John's pizzas, which cost 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas worth $40 at the time. And you can run the math. I believe it's over $1 billion today, with Bitcoin being over, obviously, 100,000 per coin. So were those pizzas worth the billions of dollars that could have been hodled? You let me know your thoughts. And again, as adoption continues around the world, Bitcoin coming to a fast food chain near you. Next story of the day, headline here reads, institutional investors continue to scoop up Bitcoin above 100 G's. That's right. Bitcoin crossed the coveted 6-figure mark again, May 8th, yesterday, as institutional investors continue to stack the sats as the institutional FOMO, like a mofo, continues. Farside investor data shows spot Bitcoin ETFs recorded cumulative net inflows of 142 million May 7th, in a sign of sustained institutional interest, according to founder of Abachakovic Research. That's a mouthful. These inflows indicate activity of institutional investors, including hedge funds and asset managers, who continue to accumulate the preload biddy through regulated instruments. The ARK21 shares Bitcoin ETF led with 54 million of inflows, followed by Fidelity's Wise Origin Bitcoin Fund at 39 million and BlackRock's iBit at 37 million. Arcam showed BlackRock acquired more than 86 Bitcoin worth 8.4 million in a single transaction on May 7th. And on May 8th, Bitcoin ETF saw over 117 million worth of inflows, this time led by iBit with 69 million, followed by FBTC with 35 million and ARKB with 13 mil. The guy said strengthening correlation between the Bitcoin and the tech stocks. Bitcoin correlation with the NASDAQ was 0.75, indicating the influence of the sentiment in the tech market. Quoting him again, the positive movement of the NASDAQ on May 8th to the 9th supported Bitcoin, which led the growth above 100,000. And it doesn't look like there's any signs of slowing down either, broskies. He also said the positive trend goes as far back as May 2nd, when iBit inflows hit a high of 675 million. He said that a continuation of this trend was most likely the outcome, as he shares here. The trend of institutional buying was likely to continue on May 8th to the 9th, unless there was a sharp macroeconomic or geopolitical shock. He also explained that the absence of significant outflows in key ETFs other than the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust supports the hypothesis that the whales and funds remain bullish. GBTC outflows, he said, are justified by the different factors. He also pointed out that GBTC outflows are of particular importance because it is the largest Bitcoin ETF and it has the highest fees of 1.5%, driving investors to switch to the cheaper alternatives, which affect the price of the Bitcoin and market dynamics. And according to the analyst, GBTC Outflows are caused by a combination of the factors, starting with tariffs, political crisis, and the conflict between Pakistan and India. The GBTC outflow is related to these factors as investors are not confident in the stability of GBTC. And it's mind-boggling to me that they wouldn't just lower their fees to be competitive with all the other ETFs that went live. As you know, they were like the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And then when the ETFs went live, they converted their trust into an ETF, but their fees remain so high. And that's why they've had a significant amount of outflows, more so than any other ETF there is. In fact, they were once the largest Bitcoin holder in the world. They had like 400,000 or 500,000 Bitcoin before the ETFs officially went live, when they were just a trust. And then they converted it, and then their fees were so high, it's been nothing but extreme outflows. They've been leading the outflow charge. And now BlackRock has over 600,000 Bitcoin, and I don't even know if they even have 200,000 Bitcoin left, GBTC. So it's just kind of ironic to me. Like, did they sabotage their own success for a reason? What's really going on behind the scenes with like Barry Silbert in them? Michael Sonnenschein. It's all interesting, but you guys let me know your thoughts. I'll read your comments out loud, but let's move on to our next story of the day as we continue with the headlines. Next story, family. Let's actually dive into the latest from Taiwan when it comes to nation adoption. Taiwan lawmaker calls for Bitcoin reserve at a national conference. That's right. Taiwanese lawmaker Ko Ju-chun has called the government to consider adding Bitcoin to the national reserves. Game theory playing out, suggesting it can serve as a hedge against the global economic uncertainty. That's right. Ko is a legislator at large in Taiwan's legislative body, the Legislative Yuan, who shared on X on Friday a report that he advocated Bitcoin investment by the Taiwanese government at the national conference today, May 9th. In his remarks, he cited Bitcoin's potential to become a hedge amid global economic risks and urged Taiwan to recognize Bitcoin alongside gold and foreign exchange reserves to boost its financial resilience, as he outlined here on X to their local Congress, I take it. Ko's announcement came shortly after the legislator held talks with Samson Mao, shout out Samson Mao, who advocates for Bitcoin adoption by states like El Salvador, and his Bitcoin tech firm, Jan3. Ko highlighted that the Taiwan is an export-driven economy and has experienced significant fluctuations in the national currency. The new Taiwan dollar amid global inflation, intensifying geopolitical risks. Quoting him here, we currently have a gold reserve of 423 metric tons, and our foreign exchange reserves amount to 577 billion, including investments in U.S. Treasury bonds. In a scenario of more intense currency volatility or potential regional conflicts, Taiwan may very likely be unable to ensure the security and liquidity. He continued, adding that Bitcoin could be a great addition to Taiwan's reserves for several reasons. That's right, quoting him here. Bitcoin has been operating for over 15 years. It has a fixed total supply, is decentralized, and is resistant to censorship. Many countries are focusing on its hedging attributes, and at the same time, in intense situations, it may not face the risks of embargo. So referring to many global initiatives considering Bitcoin adoption as a reserve asset, he stressed that he is not advocating for Bitcoin as the only solution to rising economic challenges. Instead, the legislator suggested adding a small proportion of Bitcoin into the diversified assets as tools for sovereign asset allocation and risk hedging and backup capacity of Taiwan's financial system. He previously suggested Taiwan could allocate a maximum of 5% of its 50 billion reserve into Bitcoin. That's a great start. Let's get it. When exchange rate risks and regional uncertainty increase, it is time to introduce new tools to construct a more flexible financial strategy framework. As former Dean Shen Chong said, Bitcoin is the gun of the digital era. It may also be the gold of the digital era, hence gold 2.0, the silver of the digital era, or it could be the gunpowder. A wise nation will not let weapons be in others' hands. That's right. Bitcoin is a weapon, and without it, you're going to get left behind. The news comes as Taiwan is emerging as a crypto-friendly jurisdiction, with the Financial Supervisory Commission pushing initial trials of the institutions of crypto custody services in late 2024. Meanwhile, mainland China continues to maintain its hostile stance on crypto after imposing a ban on multiple crypto activities, including mining in 2021, as the global hash war continues. Next story of the day, we did Taiwan, right? So we got 2 stories left. Here's the latest from Metaplanet, and then I'm going to share with you a Analyst's 500,000 prediction, and then we'll do some live Q&A, and we'll may flip this into a pump watch and do some good, cool interactive stuff as well. Here you can read Metaplanet is raising another 21 million through bonds to buy more of the Bitty. That's right. Fresh off its most recent Bitcoin purchase, Japanese investment firm Metaplanet is raising more funds through another bond issue to expand its growing crypto treasury through the 21.25 million issue of 0% ordinary bonds. All the funds raised will be allocated to the purchase of the pretty little Bitty. Why? It's going up forever, Laura. Zero coupon bonds don't offer any interest to the hodler. Now, most of the time, they're issued at a steep discount from their normal value, and when they mature, the hodler receives the full value. After its most recent May 9th Board of Directors meeting, the firm said it will issue a 14th stock acquisition rights to the EVO Fund, an investment management firm in the Cayman Islands, with a redemption date of November 7th, as Metaplanet announced here. Metaplanet issues 21.25 million USD in a 0% ordinary bonds to purchase additional BTC. And at the current prices, Metaplanet could buy 206 Bitcoin if it raises the full 21 million. According to CoinGecko, the firm first flagged the plans to buy the Bitcoin last April. And with the current stash, Bitcoin Treasury showed Metaplanet is Asia's largest public corporate holder of Bitcoin and ranks 11th globally. So it's virtually the Japanese version of Strategy B. Metaplanet stock has shot up over 1,600% in the last year, and it's currently trading for 511 Japanese yen, which is $3.50 USD, according to Google Finance. And on May 7th, the Tokyo-listed firm disclosed it spent $53 million acquiring 555 Bitcoin at an average price of $96,000. The company now holds 5,555 of the Bitty, purchased for $481 million at an average price of $86,600. Metaplanet also announced on May 7th the issuance of another 25 million in zero coupon ordinary bonds to fund more Bitcoin buys. And on May 1st, Metaplanet said it would launch a wholly owned U.S. subsidiary, Metaplanet Treasury, based out of Florida, planning to raise $250 million to further its Bitcoin strategy, tapping into the U.S. capital markets. Precisely, they're just looking to tap into investors in the United States because currently it's not available to them. Meanwhile, a growing number of companies have decided to add Bitcoin to the balance sheet, following in the steps of Saylor's company. Of course, the Saylor put. Strive Asset Management is an example, announcing on May 7th, which we covered here in the pod, transitioning into a Bitcoin treasury company that's owned by Vivek Ramaswamy. And meanwhile, video game retailer GameStop Corporation finished a convertible debt offering April 1st that raised $1.5 billion with some proceeds earmarked for buying Bitcoin. And I bet you they're kicking themselves for not pulling the trigger and using that 1.5 billion and purchasing the dip, because now they're going to have to pay, if they haven't already at least, they're going to pay over 100,000 per Bitcoin. So what are you waiting for, GameStop? And also, I think they're sitting on an additional 4 billion in capital, so that gives them like 5.5 billion of ultimately money that they can purchase Bitcoin, and only a matter of time, family. But you guys let me know your thoughts, and again, welcome everyone. Now for our feature story of the day. More realistic than it sounds, Crypto Analyst outlines how Bitcoin can explode to 500,000 per coin this cycle. So let's break her down. And again, welcome everyone joining the live stream. A widely followed crypto analyst and trader is leaning bullish on Bitcoin amid Bitcoin's 25% rise over the past month. And we did tap almost 105,000 yesterday. Crypto Calio shared on X that the prospect of Bitcoin reaching a price of 500,000 during this bull market is more realistic than it sounds. And according to Calio, the appreciation of over 403% from the current price level would come about amid a rally by gold, which Bitcoin has traditionally outperformed. So let me pull up his actual tweets right here, quoting Crypto Calio. 500,000 plus Bitcoin this bull market is more realistic than it sounds. The current total market cap for gold is $22.6 trillion. My target for gold over the next few years is greater than 8,000 per ounce. This would put its market cap at over $50 trillion. Bitcoin currently has a market cap as of today, just above 2 trillion. So assuming it just performs in step with gold, Bitcoin would hit 250,000 per coin. The past several bull markets, Bitcoin has significantly outpaced gold. Assuming it does a 2x versus gold, which would be pretty modest, right? It would put one Bitcoin at 500,000 USD and roughly a 10 trillion Bitty market cap. I really don't see how this is too insane for the king of the digital asset class. And he outlines a pretty awesome chart, which shows you, Bitcoin just going parabolic for the next leg up. He also wrote back on May 6th, I believe this is the cycle. We finally see Bitcoin break the trend. 500,000 plus is a magnet. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the analyst. He also tweeted here, as bullish as I am on Bitcoin, I don't see a world where Bitcoin sending to hundreds of thousands of dollars doesn't create a speculative FOMO in alternative crypto assets like we have never seen before, especially with the current regulatory landscape under the Trump administration, referencing that the entire Trump administration is pro-crypto and pro-Bitcoin, which is the polar opposite of the previous administration, which was ushering in the war on crypto. In fact, the Biden administration, as well as the Obama administration, was perpetuating the war on crypto. So the war on crypto, according to Trump, is officially finito. And he also says here, it is not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. I couldn't agree more with the prediction, but you guys let me know your thoughts. The analyst further said other crypto assets will surge amid the Bitcoin rally, which is common sense. There is a theory that a rising tide rises all ships. And I couldn't agree more with that. And also, I just want to share some of the latest tweets from Your Holiness, the one and only Max Kaiser. Mad respect for this man right here. Shout out Max and Stacy. And did you guys see this? I guess this was something coming out of the UK or Spain. Here we go. Spain now requires a 24-hour notice and a stated reason to withdraw over 3,000 euros in cash. Non-compliance can trigger fines of up to 150,000 euros. When access to your money needs state approval, it's no longer yours. This, my friend, is a great example of why we Bitcoin. Couldn't agree more there. Max wrote here, private companies are flooding the globe with USD debasing. Fiat USD will kill the purchasing power, increasing inflation, just like governments flooding the globe with fiat money. That was off the back of the breaking news I referenced earlier. Zuckerberg's Meta is looking to launch stablecoin payments on its platform. Over 3 billion users. And he owns not only Facebook, but Instagram and WhatsApp, which I would consider, I guess, sister companies. So that's absolutely massive. Let's see what else here. I love these memes. El Salvador Strategic Bitcoin Reserve will be worth $1 billion by the time of the Vegas event as Bitcoin continues. Look at me. El Salvador is the Bitcoin superpower now. That's right, because Bitcoin provides individual property rights to over 8 billion humans around the world. Meanwhile, check out Peter Schiff checking out the Bitcoin chart. Classic. Max also wrote here, no difference in the inflationary impact of flooding the globe with the U.S. debasing fiat from the U.S. Treasury of flooding the globe with private pseudo-USD debasing stablecoins from abroad when the Germans flooded the UK economy with the counterfeit British pounds during World War II. Did that help the UK economy? And I'm going to end it here. There's only one explanation regarding Peter Schiff always flooding Bitcoin. I'm going to first read you the Peter Schiff quote, and then I'll read you Max's response. We'll get some laughs and we'll go from there. Turn out the lights. The Bitcoin 100,000 party is over, as is typically the case. I'm sure most of you stayed too long. Also, despite Bitcoin entering the bear market today, there was no panic or capitulation. That means the Bitcoin bear market is not over, but just getting started, according to the Peter Schiffmeister. Max responded, there's only one explanation. Peter is a coprohaggist. Now, I had to look up this word because it's new, and I had to add it to my vernacular. And I looked it up. Here's the definition. It is the consumption of feces. The word is derived from the ancient Greeks, to eat. It refers to many kinds of feces eating, including eating feces of other species. And I mean, this couldn't describe Peter Schiff any better, so I put nailed it, spot on. And if you don't know, now you know. Welcome everyone to the Q&A segment of the live show. And let me know your thoughts with Bitcoin to 500,000. Yesterday I shared with you the reasons why Max Kaiser believes we're heading to 500,000. Today I shared with you why crypto analyst Crypto Calio believes we're going to hit 500,000 per coin this cycle. But you let me know your thoughts and I'll read your comments out loud. Let's get it. Bitcoin is currently number 5 of the global asset ranking, put it in the past the likes of the Amazon, Alphabet, and Silver, up from 10% at the beginning of the year. That's right, Greg. Thanks for pointing that out. 2x is nothing for the Biddy. I've seen it go way higher. Since inception, 16 years ago, Biddy is up 150 million %. In the same period of time, gold is up 220%. Choose wisely. Well said. Well said. 1,188 live viewers. That's another divine omen. 1111, baby. Hilarious, I say. Hilarious. Anyone holding the biddy is going to be thankful in 2030 that they did it. I dare say if you've been holding for the past 4 years, you're very grateful that you held. And that will remain true for the rest of your life. And the longer you hold, the more the unrealized gains. And they can't tax your unrealized gains. Tax that, evildoers. And they can't tax what has been lost in a boat accident. So don't push me. Oops, I lost it. I'm sorry. As Mikey Saylor would say. Take out your dollars out of the stocks and stack more sats. Buy the pretty little bitty. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. 2x is nothing. Couldn't agree more there with your Oracle 1 million cycle peak. I dare say 1.1 million this cycle. Send it.